So this week we've got a really short one for you. We've gotten back onto Dad's XE and got a little bit more work done on that one. Some of the surface rust pits and that were in the stone chips around the roof of the car had actually been left too long by the time we got hold of the car to go through and start getting work done on it. And they've actually got little pinholes cracking through. Only small ones, but there's tiny little pinholes. So we've used a gel rust remover or rust converter that you could spoon the gel on the top of it, left it sit overnight and come back and scrape it off. The gel is actually reusable. It's a really good product. When it changes colour, it's finished working, and you scrape it back off, then we give it a little bit of a hit with a wire wheel, and most of it just left the pitting and the indents, and a couple of them had little breakthrough pinholes in the middle where it was really, really thin. So one drawback we've got doing it where we are at the moment, there's no power to the shed. Second drawback we've got, the car is all original and I don't want to pull the hood lining out because it's in good condition and the cloth seats and stuff like that, and I didn't want to have to spend money getting the car trimmed because it doesn't need it. So what we've done is just kind of, I suppose, a way of filling the divots and sealing pinholes with solder, but the proper solder that's you use like when you're, plumbing solder, when you're joining pipes, stuff like that. So, and instead of using a torch to sweat it and melt it and smooth it, we used a high watt electric iron, soldering iron, and some Baker's fluid flux. So we cleaned it up, wire brushed it, and wiped it all out with prep wash. Then we Baker's fluxed the area that we were going to do, heat the metal up with the metal iron, and once we got the metal warm, then just add the solder core in, and it went in, sealed, leveled out, no damage to the hood lining, and yeah, a nice solid repair. It's taken, we've been able to sand it and clean it up, and it's not flaking and it's not loose. So we'll give it a shot. Worst comes to worst, I have to redo the roof at a later stage, in which case then we have to put a hood lining in it anyway, but it's only the roof, so not a massive issue there. So that should work. And I mean, they used lead in cars back in the day, so as long as we don't get it wet and there's no moisture in there and we get it sealed up, it should be okay. We also got a bit of rust repair done on the sill, at the front leading edge of the sill on the passenger side, which goes underneath the fender. Now we knew there was a little bit of rust in that front fender down at the bottom because we've got patch panels for it, and the rust on the passenger side had actually been because there was leaf matter and stuff that was sitting in there, and that's then sweated and caused pinholes in the leading edge of the inner sill structure. So we cut that off, made it up out of sheet metal, and we welded a patch back in there. Again, no electricity to the shed, so there's not a lot of footage of it because you don't want to see my fat lazy butt laying on gravel with an oxy torch trying to overhead weld a patch in. Wasn't good, but it's in there, it's sealed, it's done, it's fresh metal, and it's going to be under a fender anyway. You're never going to see it. It's better than having cancer under there. So yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get the photos edited up for you and show you. So the next step from there, we're going to finish feathering the inner door jambs and the pieces that don't have to go back to bare metal down, and we'll finally get that whole part of the body in epoxy. So once that's in epoxy, then we're going to concentrate on the motor and box and the wiring loom out of the engine bay, give that a good gurney and clean and scrub, and we'll get the engine bay painted and drop the replacement motor and box back in. So again, thanks for watching. Give us a like and a subscribe and a share, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks guys, bye.